let's break down the top 5 spinning reels under $100. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Alrighty, for number 5 on our list, we have the Pflueger President. And this is a reel that almost everyone's heard of at this point. This is an absolute staple in the fishing game. So many fishermen have used this reel. When I worked at Bass Pro Shops, it was easily top 3 reels I sold the most of. I actually owned that reel before I could drive, and so I rode my bike to all the ponds, near my area, and I actually dropped that reel off my bike so many times and it never broke on me. So the Pflueger Presidents are super durable. They're going to be great for, your bass, trout, panfish, any of your light freshwater applications. They do have some bigger reels in the line, so you could use one of the bigger ones for catfish. I don't know anyone that uses them for saltwater. There is one reel that is meant for saltwater in this list, and we'll get to that later. The Pflueger President is an absolutely incredible reel. It looks really good too. It's a nice looking reel. It's very beginner friendly. Now, the Pflueger President is coming in at $60, which is tied for the cheapest reel on this list. Next up, for number 4 on the list, we have one of my favorite reels of all time, and that is the Akuma Kaimar. This reel right here is absolutely incredible. It's coming in also at $60. In my opinion, I think this is the best bang for your buck spinning reel on this list. For $60, you're not going to find much more quality. I absolutely love this reel. I actually bought it when I was younger. I bought it because it looks like the Shimano Stratic, and when I was younger, I didn't really have the money for a Shimano Stratic, so I bought this because it looked like it, and man, I fished the crap out of this thing for years, so much so that I actually bought another one, and now these are on 2 of my ice fishing setups. I absolutely love them. They've got a really good drag on them. They're a super nice looking reel as well. They have kind of that like honeycomb spool there, and they also make them in a bite and run reel as well, so for you guys that are wanting to use them for catfish or carp or something else, they do make them for that too. These are going to be great for your bass, trout, panfish, your all-around freshwater fishing. For some strange reason, this reel seems to be very popular among salmon and steelhead guys. If I had to guess, it's because Addicted Fishing, they work with Akuma on a lot of their stuff. So I know I've seen the Akuma on their setups in a couple of their videos. So my guess is they have a huge influence on this reel in that market. But either way, it obviously works for that because those guys don't really fish bad gear. The looks overall, this reel just looks incredible. I love the all black with the little bit of red. And like I said before, in terms of bang for your buck, this is, in my opinion, the best reel on the list. For $60, you're not getting any more than this. Incredible reel. Let's go to number 3. This next reel is not a reel I have in person right now, but it is a reel I have fished with in the past and I want to make a full review video on in the future, and that is the Penn Fierce. Coming in at also $60, this is, in my opinion, the best saltwater reel for that low budget price. This is it's pretty much marketed towards all saltwater. So your big game, they make a lot of big reels for the, big sizes for this one. So if you want to use it for sharks and rays and everything else, they also make smaller ones. So if you want to use it for just jetty fishing or on the beach or whatever, these would also work fantastic for big catfish and carp. These work great for sturgeon, a lost striper, a lot of those big freshwater species that you need a sturdy reel with good drag. The second you feel one of these reels in store, you're gonna just go, whoa, this thing is really sturdy. They are a little heavy, so it's a pain in the butt to fish with them all day, but they are super durable. They're saltwater sealed. They have really good drags. For $60, you're not getting a better saltwater reel. Not to mention, you can use this in freshwater as well. I would advise not to use this reel for like panfish and bass and trout and stuff like that, because in my opinion, you don't need that really heavy durability and those saltwater features. I think it's a little bit too heavy as well, especially for bass and trout where you really need that sensitivity in there. Yeah, I would go with one of the other 4 on this list for that. All right, so we just covered 3 reels for $60. Now let's go up in the price a little bit and get into $80. For those of you that know me, know how much I love Shimano products, and this next reel is no exception. So for number 2, we are going with the Shimano Sedona. Now this reel right here is coming in at $80 in store average. You can get it cheaper or a little more expensive depending on where you are, but the Sedonas are absolutely incredible. This reel right here, the 500 size, is actually one of my ice fishing reels. I've also used the larger versions as well, but this reel right here has caught me some of my largest trout to date. They have really nice drags on them. They're super comfy to fish with all day. Although they are not rated towards saltwater, I know guys that have fished them in the salt and say that as long as you wash them off with fresh water right afterwards and maintain them, they're gonna be okay and they're gonna work for you. This is mainly gonna be for your bass, trout, panfish, you know, the bigger versions you could use for catfish and other things as well. However, I know a couple guys that use this on the saltwater, you know, like light saltwater stuff like surf perch or, you know, like small beach fishing type stuff. And they say that as long as you wash it out with fresh water right afterwards and take care of the reel, it's gonna be okay for you. So I would put this in the light saltwater list, probably the only other reel in this list that I would be comfortable using in saltwater. I absolutely love the look. It's one of those reels that looks a lot nicer than what it costs, in my opinion. The only thing I don't like is the handle, but other than the handle, everything else on this reel is fantastic. This is a reel that's going to be very readily available at almost any tackle shop, so if you want to go in and take a look, you know, for yourself, it would be a great idea to. Overall, great reel. Shimano really never lets us down. All right, so for reel number 1, this is going to be a little controversial to some people. I think a lot of people would have put the Shimano Sedona on their number 1. However, I think this reel beats it out, and it's only $10 more. So it's still under that $100 range, coming in at 90 bucks. That is the Daiwa XSeller. This reel right here, I have just fallen in love with. This is one of my favorite reels that I have ever fished with. I actually got this for light trout stuff, and I usually fish with a Shimano Stratic. However, when it's ice fishing season, I move my Stratic over to my ice rod, and then this guy goes onto my 7.6 ultralight, which is what I use for the Boise River and other areas. And I may keep this on that rod permanently. That is how much I love this reel. For $90, this reel is incredible. The thing that I love most about it is the feel. This reel is so comfortable feeling it in your hand. This feels like $150 reel. I mean, easy. This feels like a high-end fishing product. So I am just astounded with how they managed to make it feel so much nicer than what it really is. I was also planning on putting the Daiwa Regal in this list as well because its fish is very similar to the XSeller, however it's a little cheaper, but I just like the XSeller more, and I wanted to keep this pretty diverse with brands, and I do think all those other reels, you know, deserve a spot in this list. So I went with the XSeller instead. This one had to be in here. This had to be my number 1. I absolutely love this reel. It's such a great looking reel too. It just looks absolutely phenomenal. That drag sound on the Daiwa reels is just fantastic. I love that sound. Super great. This works really well with light line stuff. I definitely wouldn't use this in saltwater, so this is going to be for your bass, trout, panfish, stuff like that. I wouldn't even probably use this reel on like big catfish and stuff. This is definitely more of a finesse reel for sure. So, you know, for you bluegill and crappie guys and any panfish, this would be exceptional. Trout, this is an awesome reel for trout. I actually just yesterday stuck a 20.5-inch rainbow on the Boise River on this reel, and he had a big run which stripped drag super fast, and this reel was so smooth. It never, you know, never had any problems. I've had so many stories I could tell you guys about giant fish that I have caught on this reel. I just love it. This drag has zipped so fast from fish in the past, and it has just been awesome. So absolutely incredible reel. This just had to be number 1 on my list. I actually like Shimano better overall, but this reel, Daiwa, I'm sorry, Shimano, but Daiwa, you rocked it on this reel. This reel is incredible. All 5 of these reels are readily available at any tackle shop, whether it's a local shop or a big chain store like Bass Pro or Cabela's. If you guys are already set on which one you want, I have links below to all the reels. If you use those links at purchase, it actually helps me out a little bit, so I'd appreciate that. If you guys want to see 2 in-depth reviews on a couple of the reels that I used in today's video, I will throw them right up here for you guys. Hopefully you guys got something good out of today's episode. Hopefully you've got a new idea for the next reel you want to fish with. Consider subscribing, and we'll see you guys next time on Humbug Videos.